Hello. I, as you can see, clearly was planning on doing this video by, you know, how I look, and I'm in pyjamas and there's stuff everywhere. I'm going to the British Library today. I have never been to the British Library. I'm looking up some books for my dissertation that the Morn doesn't have and the Senate House doesn't have. Almost all of the universities in London come under University of London. Then you have access to the Senate Library, Senate House Library, and none of them have an edition of Juliet, which I also recently realised. It's actually 1,000 pages long. I actually have. This is only volume 1. It's for 6 volumes, and I didn't realise that. The Morn doesn't have it, and the Morn also does not have the translation. I thought it was a bit curious that the translation was 1,200 pages long. I was like, why is it that long? Yeah. I mean, it's a reasonable assumption to think, oh yeah, Juliet's only going to be, you know, the same length as Justine. No. I was very, very wrong about that. So I've just very bluntly like disclaimed in my essay being like, because of the practical difficulties of including a 1,000-page book in my essay, I'm going to heavily focus on volume 1 and the summary of her life in Justine. So I'm just sort of disclaimed that. Basically, essay writing 101, you can do whatever you want in an essay, to be honest, as long as you disclaimer it. Like, if I didn't say, then I would be making a mistake. But if you just say, look, I'm gonna do this because of this, just justify it, and you can pretty much get away with doing anything. So I've ordered my books. If you go onto the British Library website, essentially it's free and everybody can use it. The one thing though about the British Library is it is a reference library, not a lending library. So the British Library, and I think it's the, is it the Bodleian in Oxford, are deposit, I think there's one in Cambridge, but I think that one came later. I could be wrong. Everyone on the screen will tell me if it's right or not. So they're deposit libraries. In the UK, legally, every single thing that is printed in this country has to go to those 2 libraries. I think in the US it's like Capital Library. So it just means that every single thing is there. And so I'm gonna go get it, which is actually quite lucky because the things I'm looking up are not British things. So I'm actually looking up an essay on Sard that one of my friends' grandmothers wrote, because I mentioned it in my group chat being like lol when I sent them, you know, the pictures of all the orgies in there. I was like, lol guys, look. And then my friend goes, oh, my grandmother's an expert on Sard, and I'm like, wait, what? One of the essays she wrote is like perfect for my dissertation. Juliet, strong women in Sardine literature. I'm just gonna track that down. You basically have to register online. It's free and everything, because the moment you get like a reader's pass, you can order things. So I'm going to be in the rare music and book section, reading room. Very excited. This is gonna be such a dissertation-y day. It's really nice weather, and I think you good? Do you wanna stick a baguette to the vlog? Thank you, Adam. What would you do if I like...
Very upset.
What are you gonna do today, Adam? Adam's revising.
Revise and then pick something up.
So yeah, going to the British Library for the first time. Also, this was amazing. Oh, my mum was shocked as well. In this little one, Adam, turns out Sard wrote an essay on novels. He talks about, you guessed it, don't destroy the book tower, Pamela. He has definitely read this book, Adam, which is a massive like crux. It's like, basically have Roxana, Pamela, and then Juliet. Ah! Do you know how amazing it is to get confirmation that someone you're writing about in conjunction with someone else has read the other person? I mean, I'm not shocked, I'm just very pleased that I got confirmed. So good, and I found most of it online in English, and then I found it completely online in French. I'm excited. Expedition time. Stop with your smelly feet. Right, let's go. Okay, right, bye Adam. Right, that's enough. Because the way these kind of libraries work, they have so many old books, they keep it very cold in there, so it's worth magnets. Very, very nice and warm outside. I'll actually show you what I've done for the plants. I've arranged them very nicely so they're making the most of dem rays, because it's been very cloudy for the last few days. So I guess stay warm in the library. I'll show you the plants. Yes, my babies. Soak up those rays. Come on, sprout. please. They do actually make you give up your bags when you go into the reading rooms, so I'm actually not even going to bother taking this camera. So enjoy the phone footage on this camera. I'll catch you on the flip side. Hello, it is the next day. I filmed very little. I didn't expect to film much. So I think I'll just talk you through the process, essentially what happened. You sign up online. When you sign up online, you can order books already. So I did that. I ordered the 2 that I needed. It's a translation of Sard and then an article I really wanted to read. Then essentially the first thing you do is you go into the library. If you need directions, just ask. I just asked me like, hi, where's the reader registration? So it's like on the 2nd floor, and you queue. You need proof of signature, proof of identity, and a proof of address. So I used my Belgian identity card, which has my signature on it. Then a PDF of a recent payslip because it has my address on it and the company name on it. It was all very, very easy, very quick. And then as I was sat at the desk, you know, they took my picture. Ah! Oh wow, have you ever seen anything quite so atrocious? But it happened very quickly, so that was quite easy then. Because I ordered books to a reading room, I could not take my bag inside there, which is fair enough. And as you'd expect, you're not allowed to take in water or food. The one thing that like, you're only allowed to bring in a pencil. I don't know why I even thought about that. Like, you could only bring in a pencil, which is fair enough. And like, I was bringing my laptop anyway, so like, why would I need a pen? But I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. When I went up, there are 2 like security guards in front of the reading room. I was in the rare books and music room. There were quite a few. There's like humanities, there's the King Library, which is this big vertical thing in the middle with a load of books on it. I had a good nosy at that because I'm like, oh, do I maybe probably have a thing for rare editions and first editions of books? I can feel another expensive collection growing. One of the collections Emma has. So Emma had a stamp collection, which my grandma fueled. I also had a duck collection, which my grandma fueled. Sensing a pattern. Here I've started now my plant collection. I intend to have a champagne coupe collection. I guess my books are a collection, but that's just called a library, so it's fine. Even though I'm probably gonna have rare editions of books that I'm not allowed to open and read. There is one book that I am going to adapt it. My adaptation is not a traditional kind of adaptation. I want to do something which is a bit experimental. I haven't seen it done before, but I feel like it is incredibly aesthetic. It's all in the name of aesthetics. You don't need to be a genius to figure out which book it is, especially since this is kind of another installment of my dissertation vlog, which is basically several different videos. Oh my, that first edition of that. My plan essentially is when this film wins an Oscar, obviously, I'm gonna buy myself and track down a first edition. That's gonna be like like once I finish that film, my congratulations to myself will be a first edition of said novel. Really want to do it. Where was I? Reader registration. Go into the reading room that you need to go in. You flash them your beautiful, very beautiful reader's pass. First you find a desk. Each desk has a number. You tell them the number of your desk. You go to them, they will give you the books. I did that. And then the guy's like, ah, yeah, your books are actually restricted. You have to go choose these special desks. I'm like, oh no, why do I have restricted material? I'm doing my dissertation half on SARD. I should like know that it's gonna be restricted material. Part of my theory as well is that because SARD is so like, that not very many copies get made or survive. SARD was actually incredibly prolific, but like most of his stuff got destroyed. That's why we only really know him by 4 novels. So it's like, oh, I don't know if that 100% does him justice. Yep, you only remember the pornography because that is all humans are like. You're allowed to scan things. This is the one thing. So I, you know, put myself down at the restricted section, got the books. The one with the essay in it, I wasn't allowed to take photos of. It's quite, everything's quite clear. So you sit on the restricted desk because there is somebody supervising you. I'm not 100% sure why mine were restricted, apart from maybe the pornography, but I don't think that's necessarily a good enough reason. So maybe it's they're rare and maybe, so the essay was in French, so I'm really surprised they even had it. That I typed the bits up I found interesting. I was actually typing everything into Google Translate first to double check that I did know what it meant, and obviously I knew the words I was looking for, so it made it scanning it quite easy. So I was like, I was only looking for like pouvoir and l'argent, and I got some really good material, so it just kind of aligns to everything I was thinking, but also even more to Roxana's character as well. So Juliet is even more similar than I'd actually initially anticipated, which is fantastic because it so proves my point even more beautifully than I thought it did, which is always so fulfilling when you're like, oh, I only need it to kind of prove it. No, but it's like dead the same, and I'm like, yes! So that's really great. Sorry, I love plunts. Doggo, plunt, papa, I don't know what is wrong with my vocab when I get excited and passionate about things. So I spent a good, I spent like 5 hours in there. The footage does not reflect how much work I did. And I opened a new document just for my notes on the essay and I wrote about 1,000 words. That does include the translation, so let's say it's maybe like 500 words, but it's really good because it sprouts ideas and it like connects ideas, and I'm just like, oh, brilliant. And then with the translation, it's 1,000 pages long, well done Emma, I scanned every single page of the first volume. And as I was scanning through it, because then obviously you have to look with your eyes at every single page, I found some incredibly useful stuff that like I saw it and I was like, I cannot believe this is this explicit in what it is saying. Not necessarily just in a sexual sense, obviously it's SARD, so yeah, in like that explicit kind of sense, but like some of the ideas that like get said sort of like half said and like insinuated and alluded to sometimes in Roxana, like SARD dead comes out and says it, so I'm like, Jesus, it's all here very clearly, which is what my point is about, like if you choose somebody who has the most extreme standpoint, they are very easy to write about because everything they say is just like dead in front of you. So that was quite useful. I didn't need to tease things out, was like right there. Like, okay. It's like literally says things that don't have children. One of the reasons was it ruins your figure, so I'm like, okay, great, because obviously people have these thoughts and feelings, but like it doesn't necessarily trickle through into literature and novels, which does get censored and like all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, it's right here. So I did do a lot of work. It is very quiet in there. Very quiet. So make sure you've eaten beforehand, and oh my god, by the end of it I was dying to pee so badly. Oh Emma, why don't you just get up and walk out? The thing is, because I had restricted material and special material, I had to hand in at the desk in that reading room my card. You cannot get back into that room without your card. So and then they wanted the books back before they gave you your card back. So to have gone out for a pee, I would have had to bring my books back, get my card back, go, hand my card back, bring my books back. I don't want to deal with that faff, but it went very quickly, so I'm very pleased with myself. Because it is a deposit library, every book printed in this country ends up there, like I said, so if you really need something and you can't find it, it'll be there. Hello, I'm about to make you very happy with something else. My mother uses this website called WorldCat. not spawn, this is just an amazing nugget of information. It's called WorldCat. It's a world catalogue, so it's the largest library catalogue or something like that. It'll help you track down a book. It uses your locations to find out where you are, or you type in your postcode, and it will search all of the databases for you, and it will tell you where the nearest library is that has the book you're looking for. And apparently it's also recently added online resources, which my mum was like shocked about. So if you're tracking down a book and you're having trouble because no library seems to have it, that is a fantastic, fantastic resource. And the other wonderful thing that I've been doing, if you have friends at other universities, give their library a search and then beg your friends for their login details. A friend of mine is in Manchester, I did that. A friend of mine is in Oxford, which has the Bodleian, which is another deposit library, has it as well. And I was like, guys, can I, please? I searched another library, I think it was, what was it, Bristol, and they didn't have the book I needed, so I was like, awful. So that is quite a useful thing to do. I really, especially because a lot of things have online resources, so you don't actually need to physically go there. So I was like having a good snoop around, mainly because I needed to confirm that the first edition for Roxana that I was looking for was in fact the correct edition, and every single like library took me to the same resource. So I triple checked it. How would I rate my experience first time? It was surprisingly difficult to find a desk. I literally found like the last one, and then before I got moved to a restricted section, so that was VV useful. It is very well organised, the British Library is VV well organised. I need to not say VV in real life. Didn't I once say I was going to do a video on like, with Ophelia, discussing like the intricacies of how online grammar, like internet spelling and grammar, that kind of stuff, and words, plunts, doggo, how interesting that is when it fills out into our actual language, spoken language. So internet vernacular, what was it, internet vernacular, plunts. I have a problem. My family's sick of me talking about plants now, and I disagree. I don't think I've talked about them that much. I have not talked about them too much. Such a dick, Adam. Yeah, but if you guys need somewhere to study, highly recommend the British Library. Was very, very busy though, but it's that kind of time of year. I would not really dare set foot into the mall right now because it is so busy. I'm like, if you turn up at midday, you're not gonna find a desk, so you may as well go at 8 AM. Creeping up on how many weeks do I have left? What is it? It's the 10th today. I have 3 weeks and 5 days. It's gonna be fine. Really enjoyed my dissertation. Yay! Hope you enjoyed this mini dissertation library vlog. I certainly enjoyed myself yesterday, except I got home, ate, and then passed out asleep and had the weirdest dream. It was bizarre. I would love to do a video analysing my dream journal, but I just stopped coming up with the video ideas. I'm like, you don't have time. And the other one that I wanted to like evaluate how like much like my star sign I am. Don't have time. This always happens. That's why I'm so happy that I changed the master's degree I want to do, because there's no way I can like not make videos or films, so I'm like, right, it's happening. Anyway, enormous digression over. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you'd love to show some support, you can always hit that subscribe button or that like button down there. I'd really appreciate that. Comment any of your musings and thoughts, and yeah, like, subscribe and all jazz, and I'll see you guys hopefully very, very soon. Isn't this plant beautiful, this cushion beautiful?